I was running, not because I wanted to, because something behind me had already decided I was not leaving. My feet slammed into wet soil, each step heavier than the last. It wasn't normal ground anymore. It felt like the earth was reacting to me, like it knew I was escaping something it was protecting. And the worst part? The ground was speaking. Not loudly, not violently, calmly, like it had all the time in the world. David. Pause. David. I didn't look back, because I already knew what I would see. And I also knew this didn't start when I ran. It started the moment I entered that village. I arrived just before sunset. The road leading into the village was too quiet. Not peaceful quiet, unnatural quiet. Even the birds stopped calling before I crossed the boundary. The moment I stepped in, I felt it. Not danger, awareness. Like the place noticed me entering its body. People were outside their homes already, sitting, waiting, watching nothing. No music, no movement, no conversation. Just stillness that felt practiced. I walked toward an old man sitting near a small fire. "Good evening," I said. "I'm here for a documentation project." He didn't respond immediately. He looked at me for a long time, too long, like he was checking if I was real. Then he finally spoke. "You came at the wrong hour." I gave a small, polite laugh. "I've worked in remote places. I'll manage." That's when his expression changed. Not anger, fear. "You don't understand," he said slowly. "Here, time is not your friend." Before I could ask what he meant, a deep metallic sound echoed across the village. A bell. Slow, heavy, final. And the entire village moved at once. Not rushed, not chaotic. Synchronized. Like one body responding to a signal. I turned back to the old man. "What was that?" He stood up slowly. "Preparation." "For what?" He didn't answer. He just said, "Midnight." I followed a woman carrying a lantern. "Excuse me, what happens at midnight here?" She didn't stop walking. "They wake up." "Who wakes up?" She finally stopped. The silence stretched too long. Then she turned slightly. "The ones we stopped listening to." Before I could respond, she disappeared into the growing darkness. The sun vanished too quickly. Not a normal sunset. It felt like somebody switched off the sky. The village changed immediately. Doors remained open. People gathered outside. Nobody stayed alone. Nobody. I pulled out my recorder. This is day 1. The village appears to follow a strict rule. Nobody sleeps after midnight. No explanation yet, but everyone obeys it instinctively. Then I noticed something strange. Every single person was looking downward. Not at each other. Not at me. At the ground. Like it might move first. A small boy approached me. Maybe 11 years old. He stopped directly in front of me. Just stared. No blinking. No expression. I crouched slightly. "Hey, what happens at midnight?" He answered immediately. "They talk louder when you sleep." "Who talks?" The boy slowly pointed downward. The ground. Before I could ask another question, a man rushed over and grabbed him. "Don't speak to outsiders." The boy struggled briefly, then looked at me one final time and whispered, "Don't answer your name when it comes from below." He was dragged away, but his warning remained. I looked around again. The villagers seemed prepared for something terrible. Not afraid. Prepared. Like people waiting for a storm they knew would arrive. An elderly woman sat alone outside her hut. Unlike everyone else, she wasn't looking at the ground. She was staring at the sky. I approached her carefully. "Good evening, Mama." She nodded. "Can I ask you something?" "You already are." I smiled awkwardly. "What happens at midnight?" She reached for a clay charm hanging around her neck. The object looked ancient, covered in symbols I didn't recognize. "We wear these now." "Why?" Her fingers tightened. "Because the voices remember faces." A chill crawled up my spine. The voices? She nodded. They learn. I stared at her. What exactly are they? She looked toward the center of the village. When I was a little girl, my grandmother told me never to sleep outside. Why? Because something beneath the village listened to dreams. I laughed, softly. Not because it was funny, because it sounded impossible. The woman didn't laugh. Instead, she leaned closer. You think stories are made to explain fear? Sometimes. She shook her head. Sometimes stories are warnings left behind by survivors. Suddenly, crack. A deep sound echoed beneath the earth. Not above. Below. Every villager froze instantly. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. After several seconds, everyone relaxed again, as though they had heard the sound before. That frightened me more than the sound itself, because fear becomes dangerous when people get used to it. Onbir, elialtı peme. The air changed. Not temperature, pressure, like the atmosphere, became heavier. Aware. Onbir, eliedi peme. People began standing, slowly, together, without instruction. 11, 58 pm. K.A. The insects stopped. The wind stopped. Even breathing sounded loud. 11, 59 pm. Absolute stillness. Then, 12 dalem. The ground whispered. At first, I thought it was trapped wind. Then, it became clearer. A voice. David. I froze. Nobody here knew my name. David. The sound came from beneath my feet. I stepped backward. What is that? A nearby man answered without looking at me. They are awake. Who? He pointed down. The ones we stopped from finishing. What does that mean? His voice dropped. We buried something that was still learning how to exist. The words made no sense. But before I could question him, the whisper returned. This time, inside my head. A woman grabbed my arm. Hard. You must keep moving. Why? If you stop, they can see you properly. That doesn't make any sense. But even as I said it, I felt it. Attention. Not eyes. Not presence. Focus. Something below was concentrating on me. Then a boy screamed. Everyone turned. He clutched his head. I hear them. Villagers rushed toward him. They are inside my thoughts. He collapsed, his body shaking. Then suddenly, nothing. He stopped moving, stopped reacting. His eyes remained open, empty, like something had paused him. The old man appeared again. You understand now? No. He nodded. Follow me. And I did. Because fear removes choice faster than logic. We walked beyond the village, past the final huts, past the farms, into darkness. Eventually, we reached a circular patch of disturbed ground. The soil looked wrong, like it had been buried repeatedly. The old man stopped. This is it. What is it called? The quiet pit. Why? He looked at me. Because it listens better than anything alive. The ground vibrated, softly, like breathing. Then whispers emerged, structured, clear. We remember. We were not finished. You interrupted us. I stumbled backward. What is this? The old man's voice cracked. Something buried before it completed itself. That makes no sense. It does here. A loud crack split the earth. The voice unified. Deep, powerful. We are almost out. Behind us, the village erupted, screaming. Real panic. For the first time, I turned. People were running, children crying, lanterns falling. The old man grabbed my shoulder. You need to listen. No, you need to explain. His eyes looked ancient. This village was built over a wound. A wound? He nodded. Generations ago, something emerged beneath the earth. A creature? No. A spirit? No. What then? A process. The answer made no sense. But he continued. It wasn't alive. Then what was it? Potential. The ground shook again. Harder. We found it before it became complete. He started. You're saying people buried an unfinished existence. The old man nodded slowly. We were afraid. The earth trembled. We buried it. Another tremor. And we forgot. Then the whispers changed. They became sentences. We learned. We waited. We listened. The old man looked terrified. That's new. What is? It never used full sentences before. The village screamed again. A massive crack split through the center. People scattered. The earth glowed. Not with fire, not with light, with awareness. Like intelligence trying to become visible. It's learning faster now, the old man whispered. Learning what? Us. I ran. Fear finally overwhelmed curiosity. Branches snapped around me. The voice followed. Inside my head. David, David, stay. I reached the road. Or what used to be the road. The ground had cracked open like veins. And inside those cracks, movement. Not animals. Not insects. Thought. Something thinking beneath the surface. A villager grabbed my arm. It's spreading. What is? It's not staying in the pit anymore. A woman collapsed nearby. Hands pressed against her ears. They are in my sleep. You're awake. I know. She screamed. I'm awake and they're still in my sleep. Then she went silent. Eyes empty. Gone. Not dead. Disconnected. The old man appeared again. You need to explain now. He hid. It was never supposed to be buried. What? Becoming. He started. What? That is what it is. The ground shook. Hard. The whispers grew louder. We are almost complete. A villager screamed. It's forming thoughts. Another shouted. It understands us now. The old man looked at me. What happens when a child grows up? I frowned. It becomes an adult. He nodded. What happens when a buried thought grows up? The answer never came, because a massive crack tore through the village, and from it came something impossible. Not a body, not a monster, a shape made of understanding. Like reality was trying to imagine itself differently. The whispers became one voice. We are ready. The ground rose, not in one place, everywhere, breathing, expanding, learning. I fell hard into the mud, rolled over, and saw the earth moving like a living ocean. Shapes formed, faces, eyes, memories, entire thoughts appearing and disappearing beneath the soil. Then the voice spoke clearly. Why are you leaving when you helped us wake up? My blood froze. I didn't help anything. Silence. Then you came. I ran again. The forest no longer felt natural. Trees leaned toward me. The air felt heavier. Every step echoed beneath the ground, matching me, tracking me, learning me. Then the voice returned. You cannot leave what is becoming you. No, you are already inside us. The village behind me changed. Reality bending, rewriting itself. The earth no longer looked buried. It looked awake. Then thousands of whispers merged into one command. Open the rest. I collapsed to my knees. What rest? The answer came instantly. Everywhere. That was when I understood. It was not trapped anymore. It was spreading. Through soil, through memory, through thought, through language. My recorder was still running. I grabbed it. If anyone finds this recording, do not come here. The ground interrupted. Softly. You are already transmitting. I froze. The whisper was inside the recording, inside the sound itself. It had learned how to travel. The old man appeared one final time. It's too late. What is? It learned your voice. The ground split open. Every crack spoke together. We are out. Silence followed. Complete silence. The village stopped screaming. The wind stopped moving. Time itself felt uncertain. Then the earth said one final thing. Thank you for waking us. I ran, not because I believed I could escape, because it was the only thing left to do. Now I'm outside the village, or what used to be the village. Sometimes the ground still whispers my name, not chasing, just reminding, like it knows I belong to it now. If you are hearing this recording, don't analyze it, don't replay it. And whatever you do, don't answer if the ground speaks first, because it no longer needs the village. It no longer needs the pit. And it definitely doesn't need sleep. If you made it this far, subscribe to the Fable Throne Tales and Stories. Leave a comment below. If the ground learned your name, would you still believe you were alone? Because if you ever hear your name beneath your feet, don't answer. Don't listen. Just run. Because now, it knows how to follow voices